very warm welcome to you. I am Rekupile Belebesi and this is Lavo News. Two South African Broadcasting Cooperation Board members, Chris Schneider and Vus Mavuso, have announced their resignations from the board, calling the board unfit. On Wednesday, Naidu and Mavuso expressed their unhappiness on how the board compiled its presentation on Wednesday to the Parliamentary Committee on the State of Affairs at the broadcaster. Students and parents at Egypt are complaining about the poor quality of education and the lack of educational resources. Students and parents say the free tuition model is not working as there are more than 70,000 students in one class sometimes. Among the 22 million students in Egypt, 19 million of them are receiving free education at the 60,000 institutions across the country. Low salary of teachers is also one of the major factors for the deterioration of education quality. According to the education expert Kamal Mokith, in order to meet international standards, the Egyptian government needs 500,000 more classrooms. Local experts believe this is possible, but say that a strong political will is needed to deal with the current lack of funds. The Mauritian government plans to create 100,000 jobs in 5 years to ease the unemployment problem in the country. The unemployment rate in Mauritius fell to 7.1% in the second quarter of 2016 from 7.6% in the first quarter. But few people are impressed by the government statistics. They said many remain unemployed in the country. Others say that it is difficult to find a job. The Indian Ocean island has become one of Africa's most stable and prosperous economies after diversifying away from sugar and textiles into tourism, information technology, business outsourcing, and offshore banking. The majority of private businesses complain about high production costs. Russia has denied that it was behind the possible drugging of 2 U.S. diplomats at a Russian bar. A top Russian official suggested instead that the pair may simply have been drunk. Brian Todd has the report. Haiti's Electoral Council has decided to suspend Sunday's presidential election due to the damage caused by Hurricane Matthew. President of the Provincial Electoral Council, the CEP, Leopold Bangla, barriers caused by hurricane have prevented the CEP to implement the activities in the electoral calendar. He said based on the Commission's findings, members agreed to postpone the election scheduled for the 9th of October. More stories are coming up on Lavo News after this short break. Stay with us.
Music. It has such power to influence our emotions and hence our lives. It's more than gold, and hence, it has become one of our most prized possessions. Traveling all around my body, it's living right through me, putting me in a good mood, making me want to stand up and start to groove. But yet, the way we listen to and experience music is undergoing a profound change these days. A change only a tap can change. Be not afraid, be not dismayed, the rhythms and the rhymes are worth more than dimes that mash up behind 2 barrels of speakers, blasting sounds like a gun through a ripper. I'm happy that with the tap, we can have access to thousands of soul-lifting music at our fingertips. A place where music can be treated not just as a rhyme, but more as a force for inspiration. A place which does not only showcase the stars, but also gives a global platform to the young and upcoming, providing them all with the way to engage with the audiences and impact their world. Today, we invite you to enter into a whole new world where the sound nourishes your spirit, inspires your soul, and energizes your body. We invite you to C-Flix with tunes. Carry your atmosphere everywhere.
Welcome back. Extreme obstacle racing is growing in popularity in South Africa, with athletes of all shapes, sizes, and fitness levels signing up to test themselves. Extreme obstacle racing based on military cross-country training is one of the most challenging sports nowadays. In this warrior race, athletes have to cross over, crawl under, and climb above obstacles. It is a relatively new addition to the list of extreme sports in South Africa, but its growing popularity attracts up to 9,000 participants per event. The rookie level is over 5 kilometers with 15 obstacles. The 10-kilometer commando level features 20 obstacles And for those ready for the ultimate challenge, there is a fear-inducing Black Ops Elite level. To complete the event, athletes have to jump off a 6.3-meter high platform. The British capital London recently hosted the 154 Contemporary African Art Fair for the 4th year running. Initiated in 2013, the Contemporary African Fair has biennial editions in London and New York. This time's fair showcases 40 of the world's leading specialist galleries, presenting 130 artists from Africa and the diaspora at London's Somerset House. One of the galleries exhibiting here for the first time is Addis Fine Art from Ethiopia. The show is aiming to live up to its name, a reference to the 54 countries on the African continent, by showing artists from as many different African countries as possible. Your business and finance news follows shortly. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has released its forecast for global growth in 2016 at 3.1% and in 2017 at 3.4%, saying sub-bar growth will continue regardless of determined policy action. The IMF revised its 2016 growth prospects for advanced economies following slow growth in the United States and Britain's vote to leave the European Union. It expects advanced economies to grow at 1.6% in 2016, lower than last year's 2.1% growth and also down from its July forecast of 1.8%. The Washington-based institution marked up the growth forecast for emerging economies. It expects emerging markets and developing countries to grow at 4.2% this year, slightly higher than its July forecast of 4.1%. It's the first time growth in both the emerging markets and developing economies have accelerated in 6 years.
While we expect that advanced economies will continue along a disappointing growth path, emerging market and developing economies should accelerate as most of the large economies with currently shrinking economies stabilize and return to the longer-term growth paths that we expect.
That sums up your business and finance news, and here are your market indicators, followed by your weather forecast. Vice President Victor Motengeli has said that awarding the 2018 and 2022 World Cups to Russia and Qatar was a tipping point, which helped expose corruption in the game. The CONCACAF president also backed the expansion of the World Cup and said it was time for the tournament to return to its region. The CONCACAF president suggested that football might still be struggling with corruption had Russia and Qatar had not been chosen to host the 2018 and 2022 World Cups. FIFA President Gianni Infantino recently proposed an expansion of the World Cup to 48 teams, and it was something that Motengeli thinks should be in consideration. He also backed the 2016 World Cup to be staged in the CONCACAF region.
It's obvious it's not going to stay at 32. for 2026. I think it's going to obviously change. And I think the message from the president is not so much, what the number is right now. I think, he's had some ideas of 40, 48. But the reality is, I think we need to look from a growth perspective. There's opportunities when we grow that brand. It's just that we have to balance it and not and make it realistic and make sure that you don't hurt the brand by expanding it.
That's all the news we have for you this hour. Thank you so much for joining us. You can send us your questions and comments to feedback@loveoset.org. I am Rekupile Belebesi, and have a wonderful day.